Aloha, and welcome back to Leaving the Church to Find God, your safe space for exploring faith beyond traditional walls. I'm your host, Melissa, and whether you grew up in the evangelical church like I did, or any other system while seeking answers, you're in the right place. This podcast isn't about judgment or attacking institutions. It's about honest conversations, diverse spiritual paths, and celebrating the unique journeys that we all take in search of meaning. We've all experienced indoctrination in some form, and here we explore how it shapes our understanding of ourselves and the divine. Each week, we'll dive into thought-provoking topics, share inspiring stories from guests and listeners like you, and offer tools and insights for navigating your own deconstruction journey. Remember, leaving the church doesn't mean leaving your faith. It's about finding your own authentic connection to something greater. So buckle up, embrace the open dialogue, and join me as we explore what it means to move beyond confines and discover the deeper personal connection to the divine that exists within us all. Aloha God Pod, thank you for being here. I know I've been kind of not around that much lately. I've been on my YouTube channel a lot, Diary of an Authentic Life, and I had this episode come out last week, and I wanted to share it with you here about emotionally healthy spirituality. So if you hear me referring to YouTube-y-like things, that's because that's where this episode came from. But thank you for being here. I know I'm not on here very often lately. I've been putting my focus in other areas, but I am still here for you and will bring you beautiful, important conversations whenever they become available. In the meantime, you can find my smaller conversations, daily musings, things about aligning with authenticity and your highest level of self and spirituality on my YouTube channel, again, Diary of an Authentic Life. I hope to see you there. If not, I will be back here soon. Enjoy the episode. There's so much conflicting information in the online space about spirituality and about emotional health. And I feel like that's something that we can use more of a conversation for, is emotionally healthy spirituality, because it can be really toxic. And it can just be another capitalistic system of oppression and of keeping us like in the grind and in the hustle or in the not good enough in our thinking mind instead of in our bodies. And when we're in an integrated, like an emotionally integrated space within our spiritual growth or personal expansion, or however you view it for yourself, your connection with source, your higher self, greater purpose, whatever feels aligned for you, in an emotionally healthy space, it's not all love and light and, retreats and all of this. I mean, sure, there's great tools out there that can really help, but we can be tricked into thinking that what we need is outside of us, that it is something that we have to pay for or work for or discover through the right channels or through some sort of magic. And yes, I believe in magic. I believe that synchronicities happen and put us in the right place at the right time, but that's not something that we have to pay for. And that's something that I'm committed to, is to not put information behind a paywall. Like anything that I charge for, it is just to have, it's something that it's my time. It's something that you're getting a closer access to one-on-one work or like a really personal setting. And so you're not paying for the information, you're paying for the experience, the being in the energy of authenticity and growth, and like letting that energy propel you and to be witnessed and to be mirrored by someone who is living in alignment with the values that you are aligning yourself with, or that you already live in alignment with. And that is what I will charge for, but I will never, ever, ever put information that is given to me through guidance, through my intuitive voice, through any of that behind a paywall. And you can hold me to that, because the information it's in the quantum. It belongs to all of us. And I believe that we're all given our own interpretation, our own way of seeing things, so that we can share that with someone that it may resonate with, or many people that it may resonate with. But we all have our own pieces, and that we're meant to share our pieces so that we all get a bigger picture. Like we all have our portion, and the more we put our portions together, the bigger portion there is for all of us to like enjoy, to understand, to bask in, to get us, where we want to be in self-actualization and really fully enjoying and being in the human experience. But a lot of spirituality, they want to sell you something. You've got to, stress out your schedule to fit in the meditation class or the yoga class. I'm telling you, that is defeating the purpose. Your time will be better spent sitting at home and resting and taking some deep breaths than it will be rushing to the meditation class and trying to change and trying to get this thing arranged and that thing arranged. If it brings you stress, if it takes you out of the presence of your life, then it's not bringing you the benefit that you may think it is. It's defeating the purpose. It doesn't add up, right? The math's not math in there. So, and that's the thing. If you are feeling like, oh, I need to go to this retreat, but it's not in my budget, so I'm going to extend myself or put myself in a bad situation or put it on a bunch of credit because I need this thing. This is the thing that I need. And so many times in the spiritual world and in the personal growth world, things are sold to us in that way. It's like, you have this problem, I have the solution, and then it's put behind a paywall. And I'm not knocking anybody's work or the purpose of work. I have paid for courses. I have paid for mentorship. It has been well worth it. But there is also, there's many things can be true at the same time. And there is a lot of this, like, if you feel inspired and you have the means and you have the resources and you're like, yes, let's do that, then do it by all means. But if you're causing yourself stress to do something to relax, then you are going to get more benefit from just not doing that thing. From just not doing that thing and being with yourself, because you have everything that you need. You have all of the answers. And when you tap into your source, into your higher self, then you are tapped into the quantum, and all of the information is there available for you. And so anything that I share with you here, it's coming through me as a vessel for this information. I am happy to share it, and I'm not going to charge you for it, because I believe that that's what we're meant to do, is share these understandings and what is given to us intuitively with each other. So that's the difference. Do you feel that difference there? And then, like, I'm going to give you bits and pieces to lure you in, and then you have to pay me for divine guidance or divine information. And again, yes, you've got to pay me for my time. Yes, you have to pay me for my personalized attention, but no, you never have to pay me for this information. It's always going to be available in a post, in a video, in something that is offered for free, in a book. However, I feel inspired to share it. And yes, you do have to pay for books, but from someone who has published quite a few of different varieties of publications, it's not for profit. The publishers, the printers, they take most everything. You're getting like $1 or so. So it's, it's not quite putting it behind a paywall. That's just giving another tool for access, another form of accessing the information. But if you know, you know, I guess. But so there's this toxic spirituality, and a lot of it is very colonized, like going into indigenous places with no respect for the indigenous cultures, or even appropriating their methods and their tools without respect to that culture or without permissions, like appropriate permissions and understanding from the leaders within those indigenous groups. And they'll go in and they'll sell these journeys and these situations. And I'm not saying they're wrong, like that's their work to do, that's their journey. But if you're trying to live this decolonized life, if you're really wanting an emotionally healthy version of spirituality, it takes into consideration everything. It's the consideration that we are all one, that we are all a collective whole. And what is affecting one of us negatively is affecting all of us negatively. And in taking those things into consideration in the way that we move. And I'm sure that I have contributed to colonization in many ways. I probably still do. But when we take on this mindset and we become aware of it, then we start to question these things. And so more and more when I'm traveling, I'm like, oh, let me do a little research on this place. Is it overcrowded right now? There's Frommers, or one of the travel sites, they put out a list every year of like the top 10 places to not go because of problems that are being caused with the ecological system around that. More tourism will just cause more problems. And so they create like the 10 worst, like just, you know, and that's just a level of conscious. Okay, just, you know, like I've always wanted to go to Paris. I'm such a Francophile. I have been for as long as I can remember. And I just have visions. I'm going to be in Paris eating my croissant, sipping my latte, whatever, doing the whole thing. Love, love, love. Like, it's a dream. But right now it's on the list of those 10 places. I live in another one of those 10 places here on Maui. So I'm not going to go until it's off the list and has some time to recover and heal. And that's an emotionally healthy version of traveling, right? It's because it's in alignment with all of the parts of self. I don't have to self-betray. I don't have to betray my soul. I don't have to turn a blind eye to something to make it okay for myself. It's just being fully responsible for the choices I make. And if your choices do align with that and it doesn't feel bad to you, then great. Like, that's you, your reality, do your thing. I am not judging that. It's your story. Like, you do whatever you want to do. But being emotionally healthy, it means like approaching the realities of these systems and not just getting caught up in the magical thinking of something's going to rescue me, some magic's going to happen and that's going to come save me from this situation. Because the true magic is in saving yourself. It is in getting to those deepest core beliefs, into your shadows, into facing yourself without numbing and taking full responsibility for your life and everything that's led up to it. And Shoshana Raven is this coach that I absolutely adore. She calls it post-traumatic growth, right? We can take responsibility for the things that have happened in our lives, not saying it was my fault that this thing happened, but saying this thing happened and now it's my responsibility what I'm going to do with it. I can grow from it. I can extract the lessons from it. I can alchemize it into something beautiful and powerful and empowering and that can be impactful to the planet, or I can just continue to live in the story of I can't do what I'm supposed to be doing in life because of this thing. So, there is this balance of self-responsibility and spiritual bypassing. And when you're checking in with yourself and through this holistic, I talk so much about the body, mind, spirit, about embodiment, mindfulness, soul-led living. When you're in this recipe, in this balance of this union, this yogic union, right, of these things, then it is keeping you in alignment with your emotional state. It's being honest about what's actually going on. And so when you're feeling something or something's coming up, to be able to respond to it in a way of not just like, oh, I'm going to positive think my way out of this. No, but to like face the feeling and then feel your way to something more empowering. The next most empowering thought, the next most joyful thought, the next most elevating thought, and then take it from there. And so you can, Esther Hicks talks about this a lot, or Abraham Hicks, reaching for the next best feeling. And you can feel your way into a better emotional state, but that involves actually feeling and not just skipping and turning a blind eye or numbing out to the actual truth. And I've done other videos about shadow work or spiritual bypassing, which talk about this, but this is just like really bringing in this understanding of emotionally healthy spirituality. If it's costing you money that you don't have, it's not meant for you in this moment. There is nothing that you're going to miss out on because you don't have the ability to participate in it that you needed to have. If you needed to have it, the resources would be there for you to have it. Don't stress yourself out financially trying to purchase your way into ascension. It's not possible. You have to go through the steps. You just got to go through it. You got to go through the fire. You got to go through the shadows, all the things, burn to ashes. There's no way around it. And to really be in a healthy place with that, it takes that acknowledgement and working with that, working with where you're at, working with what you've got, right? And then also not extending time that you don't have in trying to be something. Now, if you are too busy to meditate, I'm not saying that you need to not meditate. You can make time. You can 5 minutes, start with 5 minutes to yourself, and it's going to provide enough relief within you that somehow another 5 minutes will appear. I guarantee. If you're giving yourself 10 minutes of mindfulness a day, and 10 minutes of just sitting with yourself, sitting with your guidance, like really just spending your time in a mindful way that quiets the noise and allows you to connect with your higher self, with your voice, your inner voice, that's all you need. And if you have more time, and if you have like some time to spend and you're like, I want to go to this meditation retreat and I've got the money to pay for it and I've got the time to spend on it, then hell yeah, do that. That's amazing. But it's not healthy for you. There's nothing that you need more than to take care of your basic needs, to keep yourself in a rested state, to invest in your nervous system, to be with yourself. It is free to be with yourself. It is free to be outside in nature with the earth. It is free to have a conversation with a friend. Like, there are ways to do this that are healthy, that are in alignment with where we're at. And again, if you've got the means for it, then great. But it's important to live in alignment. Like, if you're really working on your spiritual self, it doesn't exist without the mind and without the body. And if all of those things aren't equally being cared for, then it's out of balance. It's out of alignment with the whole, with this holistic way of being. There's also this idea of not enoughness. It's like, are you growing? Are you reading this book? Are you taking this course? Are you consuming this information because you feel drawn to it because it feels aligned, because it was synchronistic? Or are you doing it because you feel like you're not enough, because you feel like you don't have what you need? Like, where is it coming from? Is it coming from a place of lack or from a place of abundance? Like, there's this abundance of information. There's this abundance of access. I feel inspired. I feel full. I feel motivated. I feel energized. So I want to add this to my toolbox. Or is it like, I can't figure this out. I need more information. I don't know enough. Or even taking in more information as opposed to doing the actual work. Because it's real easy to read a book or do a course compared to actually going within and doing the work. And that's when it comes, I say this so often, it's like, I create more than I consume. I create more than I consume. I feel like that's just such a great motto in life. And when we follow that, like reading a book, even if it's self-development, even if it's spiritual growth, it is consumption. Watching this video is consumption. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying, are you consuming more than you're creating? Because that's what you're meant to do, is use your beautiful voice, your beautiful mind, your beautiful spirit to share your expression of self with the world, and to be witnessed and to witness others sharing theirs. That's community. That's what we do for each other, right? And so how much are we consuming? Are we consuming from a place of, yes, that's exactly what I've been trying to figure out, and this chick is talking about like being spiritually and emotionally healthy, having a balance. Like, that's exactly what I need to know. So I'm going to watch this video. Or is it like, I am going to consume as much information as possible so that I don't actually have to stop and be quiet with myself? And there's no judgment for either. But it's important to know this distinction and to know where it's coming from. Are you taking a yoga class because it feels delicious and yummy and expansive? Or are you taking it because you feel like you should, or because you're supposed to? Are you going to do that meditation because you feel like you have to, or because you want to align with your soul and you want to connect with your inner guides and you want to connect with your guidance system, and you want to plug in and you want to get clear and get quiet before you start into the day and start interacting with the rest of the world? Like, where is it coming from? Is it coming from a place of not enough? Is it coming from a place of brokenness or lack of self-trust or a lack of self-understanding? Where is it coming from? That will tell you a lot about whether or not it's coming from an emotionally healthy place or not. And this is important because we can go, and I've done it myself. I did it for, many years, many years. The whole spirituality thing, I went from evangelicalism to hardcore, like, new age spirituality. And fortunately, I had learned enough to be skeptical because of the evangelicalism to keep myself at a bit of a distance. But I worked so hard in that self-growth, self-improvement spirituality world that I wasn't really in my inner world. I wasn't really facing the childhood traumas, and not intentionally. I just didn't know. I thought I was doing all the work. It was a lot of work in nearly 20 years and not, just keep going back to the same patterns, not from a new perspective, not from a place of growth, but holy crap, how did I end up here again, And so when I started coming from it from this more holistic place where I'm working with all of the parts of myself and not just trying to bypass, not just trying to find a magical solution to my problems, then I really started to get results. And in just a short amount of time, in just a few years, it has catapulted me personally in all the ways. And I've really been self-actualizing as a result of doing all the work. And it is this holistic, the somatics are important. Moving the body, moving the hips, dancing, playing, joyful movement is so important. In the process, all three, you can't have one and out of balance, one that's less or one that's more, and it be in balance. It really truly is a balance of body, mind, and spirit. And when I'm talking about body, mind, and spirit, yes, like moving the body, taking care of the body, feeding the body well, but also embodiment, being in your body, feeling the feelings, not dissociating, like really feeling yourself and staying in your body throughout your day, throughout your life, throughout your choices, checking in with yourself, checking in with your gut, checking in with your inner compass. That is also part of that body piece. That's why I call it embodiment, mindfulness, soul-led living, because it can be deceiving to just think body, mind, spirit. There's so much more for that. Like in the mind, yes, we want to take care of the mind and take care of our mindset, but also being mindful, being present, being of a presence of mind. That's also part of that mind piece. So when I say body, yes, all the moving, the joyful movement, but also embodiment. Another way that it could show up and spirituality can kind of be on the more toxic side or be unhealthy for us is agreeing to things that don't feel comfortable, following someone else's leadership over your own. It's so important to be self-led, especially in these spiritual spaces and in these places where you're opening up your heart, you're being vulnerable, you're opening up your mind. It's so important, like for discernment with these people that you're trusting, especially when you're opening up your energy. I am so particular about anybody I let do any kind of psychic reading, energetic work, lead me in yoga, lead me in meditation. Like I really do a full body check-in and a soul check-in with myself before I work with anyone. And if I hear their name or anything happens and I immediately feel a drawback, there's no talking me into it. There's no talking me into it. It's a hard pass because it is so, so important to protect our energy from those who have malintent. And in the spiritual world, because people are seeking, and people, there can be a lot of ego, and there can be people who want to show up and take advantage of that. It's really important to have discernment around who you follow and who you listen to, and to really check in with yourself about what you're taking in, about what you're participating in. To never participate in something spiritual out of obligation or guilt. And if someone is making you feel guilty or obligated, then that is a huge red flag to run in the opposite direction. Be mindful of groupthink. Be mindful of your own independence when you go into group situations of, even like there's, transcendental meditation and Hare Krishna, like there's a lot of good messaging in there, but also a lot of like cult, like, I'm coming from the evangelical church. There's no judgment on any of this. It's just the honest truth. A lot of groupthink and a lot of people being inundated and like losing their own individuality and their own voice to fit into the spiritual mold, when true spirituality is connecting to that source that is within all of us and having it in alignment, in this holistic alignment with who we really are. True spirituality is only going to bring us home to ourselves. It's only going to make us feel more authentically ourselves, more self-actualized, more fully present in our life experience, fully experiencing the emotions, fully expressing ourselves in truth and in honesty and authenticity. That's anything that is a healthy, emotionally healthy form of spirituality is going to lead you back to yourself. It's never going to tell you to believe this over what you believe. It's never going to tell you to listen to me over yourself. Ever, 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 ever. It's just not, that's not how it works. Emotionally healthy spirituality always leads you to your authentic truth. And multiple truths can be true at the same time. Your authentic truth can be just that, honest to God, authentic truth. And it be a variation or indifference to my authentic truth. That's why it's so important for you to find your own, for you to find your way back to yourself. Oh, so good. I did not expect this from this message. I didn't even know what to expect. It was just so like, it just turned on the camera and started talking. And every time I turn it off, more comes through. So if it seems a little choppy, that's what's happening. I'm just going with the flow and try not to give you guys any blank stares. It's just like a really simple way to know, is this emotionally healthy? Is how does it make you feel? How does it make you feel? Does it make you feel expansive? Does it make you feel happy? Does it make you feel excited? Does it make you feel like pensive? Does it make you feel something like on the edge? Or does it make you feel shrinky? Does it make you feel cold? Does it make you feel separate? Does it make you feel confused? Does it make you feel guilty? Does it make you feel obligated? Does it make you feel shameful? Like, how does it make you feel? If what you're wanting to do, what you're wanting to participate in, what you're wanting to take part in, like me, I talk about this. I joke about journaling. Y'all, it's so funny because I love to write, which is essentially a journal. Most of the writing I do is like in memoir style. So, you know, take it for what you will. I love to write, but I hate to journal. I think it's the pathological demand avoidance that comes with my recipe of neurodivergence. I don't know, but I just don't like to be told what to do. And I can ask myself a question and like free write, you know, but I'm just like, if you tell me I have to journal something every day or I have to, I'm just going to not do it. I'm going to dig my heels in and be like, no, there's got to be another way. So if journaling is not for you, I get it. I feel you. Do what feels good for you. And that's the thing for me, journaling, like waking up every day and writing in my journal, that's not how I want to start my day. And I know that that can be so beneficial to so many people, like so beneficial. And it could be beneficial to me if that were something that I actually look forward to doing and wanted to do. But the fact that I have such a like, it's not a resistance. I've done it. I just don't enjoy it. Then it's not spiritually aligned for me. If it were aligned for me, I would look forward to it. Now you wouldn't be able to stop me. I'd wake up and be like, yes, I'm writing in my journal this morning, you know, and I do love to wake up and write. I just don't want to be told it's like forced creativity. I don't want to be told how to do it or whatever. So I'm not going to force myself to do it. I'm not going to put myself on a schedule for meditation because with my human design, like my schedule works best with some flexibility and to be able to like work with my sacral. I know it's aligned in each moment. And so I'm not going to schedule myself for meditation because that's not what's aligned with me. But what happens is I'll get up and I'll be like, okay, what do I want to do first? And I'll check in with myself. And sometimes it's I feel foggy. Let's sit there and take advantage of this theta state. Let's do some meditation and get some guidance for our next step. Sometimes it's like, whew, I'm awake. Let's do it. Let's move. And I'll just start doing some movement. And the meditation eventually happens on most days. Some days it doesn't. I don't keep track. Because that would just make me feel guilty for the days that I missed. That would make me feel like I was doing something wrong if I didn't do it. But that really does defeat the whole purpose of meditation. It is a prayer to yourself, with your higher self. So, like, being forced to do it, it's the antithesis of what it is. It just doesn't work that way. It doesn't make sense that way. It's not healthy to force yourself to do something that doesn't feel right or doesn't feel aligned. And yes, it's great. Like at first you may hate meditation to like train yourself to be able to meditate in whatever way works for you. It could be like staring at a stream or staring at snow out the window or watching rain fall. That's just as much of a meditation. To get into that like communion with your higher self, it's just either like there is no thought, you're just like dazing out and present and enjoying the moment. And I feel like for most people, it takes practice to get there. It's great. It could also just be letting the thoughts come and detaching from them and just like watching them float away if the thoughts are coming. It could be letting things come up and exploring them and being like, why is this coming up? Is this some answer to something that's on my mind right now? I've noticed that before when I was meditating and thoughts kept coming in. There goes that toxic spirituality. I kept feeling like, oh, I need to push this out. I need to push this away. I'm supposed to be meditating. I'm supposed to be in no thought. But I had asked a question and then gone into meditation, and the memories that were coming up in the meditation had the answer to the question that I was asking. So actually letting my mind trail off, letting my mind follow those thoughts, that was the answer. So this emotional health comes with like trusting yourself, your inner trust to feel the feelings, your inner trust to do what's right for you, and not outsourcing that to someone else. For one, no one else has your answers. That doesn't mean you can't learn from other people, but no, you cannot like depend on someone else for your answers. But also, like, it takes away your power. You're giving your power to someone else by looking to them for your answers. Your power is within you. Your power is in opening up this channel with yourself, is in getting in touch with yourself and being able to get these answers from within, from your own divine connection to the quantum, to everything that is. Another thing is, like, when your spirituality is in a healthy place, you don't need to enforce it on others. When you're in a deep place of self-trust, you get in a deep place of trust with others. You trust others to do that for themselves. And think about it. All the things that you've tried to change about yourself or changing your life, how freaking hard has that been? Even with your effort and your awareness and all the learning and all the work you've done, how hard is it to change yourself? Now, you really think you can change somebody else? No, your only hope of that is to be yourself, to be your authentic self, and trust that the influence that that's supposed to have on the person, it will. And it may not be what you think it's supposed to be. That is their journey. When you are in an emotionally, spiritually healthy place, you don't need to impose that on anyone else. You don't need the validation of someone else agreeing with you. And I found myself doing this with AI for a minute because I was in the sketchy place and I needed some validation, and it was great at first and I have no regrets about using that. But then when I noticed myself going back to AI to get that validation that I'm doing the right thing, then I was like, that comes from within. We don't need somebody else, something else, anything else to validate us. We know we do this because we know it to be true. We know it to be true because it came from within, because it came from us, because it came from our source, our divine guidance. We know it to be true. Then you don't need that validation. You don't need the validation of congregations. You don't need the validation of other people agreeing with you. You don't need the pat on the back. And it's great. Give credit where credit's due. I love to receive credit for the things, for my ideas, for the things that I do. That's part of my human design. I love to receive credit for the things that I do. I'm 100% about giving credit where credit is due. But I don't need it. I don't need it. It's great. It's like icing on the cake. But I don't need it. Even if we want to go with this metaphor, I actually love cupcakes without the frosting. I don't like a lot of frosting unless it's like a nice chocolatey frosting, but I don't like a lot of frosting. So I'm good with the cake. I don't need all the frosting, but when I get the frosting, if it's good, then I like it. If it's too false sugary, this metaphor's really working out, then I don't want any part of it. And that's the truth of it, right? Love this message. Love this message. Thank you so much for being here. This is amazing. I'm so glad that I decided to just go for it and start recording, because I really feel like this is such an important message. And thank you for being here with me to listen to it. And that's the thing I remember about being in the church, is that we had to win souls, right? We're fishers of men. What the fuck? Going fishing for some men. I'm doing that, I think, in my dating life. But I don't think that's what they were talking about. Oh, goodness. But we're supposed to be out there winning souls, right? And there was so much pride in how many people I brought to church. And I was bringing people from school and preaching it to everybody and going around the neighborhood. And it was like a contest. We literally had contests of who could bring the most guests, visitors into the church. And which of them got the Holy Ghost and all of this stuff. I needed so badly to convince other people, because I was having to convince myself over and over and over again, because my deepest, truest, authentic self knew that it wasn't true. Take that in. I'm going to give you a minute to breathe with that. If the spirituality that you are experiencing, you need to convince other people. You're going out and needing to convince other people. That's a red flag, babe. It's a red flag. Now, when you find something that works for you and you're excited about it and you want to share it, that's a different vibe. You don't need the person to believe you. You don't need the person to understand you. You can put it out there and either they pick it up or they don't. Even better, just live it. Just live it and then let them see it as an option, and either they pick it up or they don't. It's completely on them, not your responsibility. I have videos about this too. Just go through it. I got all this in there in depth. So again, I'm not putting this information behind a paywall as it comes through. I share it freely. I appreciate you being here. And yes, if it is true, and if it is real, and if it is in alignment with your soul, you do not need other people to agree with you. And if you feel the urge to get other people on board, to recruit people, to get people to believe with you, then there is a deep, deep part of you that doesn't believe it. If this made sense, let me know in the comments. I just wasn't even planning on recording anything, and I started feeling this coming through, so I checked in and things came out that I didn't expect, and I love it when that happens. Thank you for being here. I love you, and maybe I'll make a meditation for this. Yeah, sounds like something I'll make a meditation for. Keep an eye out. Aloha. Thank you for joining me on this journey. If you enjoyed this episode, the best way to show your support is to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. Also, share your thoughts by leaving a 5-star review. It really helps more people to find this space. Want to go deeper? Head over to my website at leavingthechurchtofindgod.com. There, you can make a donation and make sure that we continue to have these conversations. No matter where you are on your spiritual journey, if you or someone you know would like to join the podcast and tell your story, please reach out to me on Instagram at authenticallymelly. Remember, you're not alone on this journey. Keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep finding your own unique connection to something greater. Until next time, stay authentic, stay open, and aloha.